I have not been in possession of my van for 12 days, and I'm about to drive 3 hours to go pick it back up from the shop where it may or may not be fixed. And if it's not fixed, then that could be the end of van life for me and this channel. So as y'all know, my van broke a few episodes ago. I took it to a shop in town. They basically reset the code and said if I had that problem again, I would need to go to our Mercedes dealership. My van is all Mercedes, engine, all of the parts, everything. And the closest Mercedes dealer that works on 06 Sprinters is in Northwest Arkansas, 3 hours away. So hence why I am having to drive a 6-hour round trip to pick up the van today. Of course, the light came back on. I continued to have the problem. So I dropped my van off almost 2 weeks ago. They were able to diagnose the problem, which I'll talk about more later. The reason it took so long is because they had to order a part from Germany that was going to take 10 days to get to America. Gotta love a foreign vehicle. I just had to pick up lunch. I'm so hungry. The reason that I'm so stressed out about getting my van right now, I'm supposed to leave for South Dakota in 3 days. Let me show you what I got. A salad. Oh my goodness. So yummy looking. So the reason I'm going to South Dakota was to run a 50-mile ultramarathon race that I've been training for. If you've been around, you've seen me train in my videos. Now I am not even gonna get to run that race because a couple weeks ago I hurt my hamstring and it's still bothering me. And I really don't want to take a risk because my number one goal is to run 100 miles in October. This was a race I kind of booked last minute. It was just supposed to be a training run to try out some paces and some nutrition strategies and things like that. It sucks because I was really looking forward to running it. I'm trying to stay positive, but I do still plan to go to the race because I have a friend running it. I may be able to sneak in a few miles pacing her or at least be there to crew her and support her. And I just really wanted to go to South Dakota because I've never been. I was planning to go a week early and explore and then stay an extra week after. And now all of those plans are a bit up in the air. Now, in layman's terms, what has been going on with my van is basically it will not accelerate past 2,500 RPMs. Once it hits there, it loses power. So my van barely made it to Northwest Arkansas the first time. With it not being able to accelerate over 2,500 RPM meant that flat level ground, I could keep the van at around 65, 70 miles per hour. But if there's any sort of elevation in the road, my van just didn't have enough power to go up it. So I was running like 40 miles per hour on some sections of interstate. It was definitely pretty sketchy. I'm glad it made it there. And hopefully that problem is fixed. Anyway, now we gotta go drop this car off and see what's up with the van. Alright, I just dropped off my rental and now I gotta call an Uber to get to Mercedes. So I decided to do a rental this time. Last time my mom drove up here with me, we did it that way, but so she didn't have to take off work. It was just easier to rent a car. But now I'm stranded at X&A. Hopefully I can get an Uber to finally pick up my van. I have, of course, my life in my hands and on my back. What's new? Lately, I've been juggling a lot of projects behind the scenes and spending a lot of time behind my computer screen. And real talk, sometimes the internet can really suck you in. 1 minute I'm looking at Sprinter repair forums and the next I'm just doom scrolling. That's why I've been using Opera Air. This desktop browser is designed to bring calm and focus when surfing the web. It has built-in scientifically based mindfulness tools and techniques that help you stay productive and on task, including Feature Boost with binaural beats and lo-fi music, which helps boost my creativity. One of my favorite features is the Take a Break feature,
where you can set a timer on the browser to remind you to stop and take a few breaths and check in with your body. My favorite mindfulness exercise is the guided neck stretches. Just taking a little break like this helps me to be so much more productive and to not burn out. Apera also has this amazing inspiration feature that shows me inspiring quotes that bring positivity and motivation to my day. And I can easily share them to my friends and family to make their day a little better as well. If you spend a lot of time online or just want a more peaceful browsing experience, Apera Air is a great option. If you'd like to try Apera Air for yourself, download it now using my link in the description of this video.
This is actually my first time in the Fayetteville airport, and it's way bigger than I thought. I think it's bigger than Little Rock, which is crazy. So maybe I'll be coming back to go somewhere cool and not the Mercedes dealership that's gonna take all my money. Bye. Hello. Hello. Good. Thank you. I'm just picking up my vehicle. Yeah. Thanks. Yes. Thank you. You too. Oh my gosh. I have my van back. Oh, I missed you, my little problem child. Oh boy. All right, let's get out of here before I make a bad decision and just better buy a brand new Sprinter, which no, I definitely cannot afford. Yeah, it's hot. It is freaking 94 degrees, 95 degrees. The heat index of over 100. Yay! Good thing I have AC. I gotta get somewhere and then I will, tell you guys what I found. They're making the new Sprinters all electric and their range is only 200 miles. That's stupid. Oh man. So I got some news. Some good, some bad. I'm just gonna insert the clip of the Mercedes mechanic explaining what was wrong with my van.
This is the young lady where you did the oil cooler on?
Alright, so this is silicone.
Yeah.
And that came out of this hole.
Okay.
And if you use the light, you might even be able to look down in there. You can see a little bit poking out.
Uh-huh.
That's silicone in the cooling system. There should never be silicone in the cooling system. It will plug up passages and holes and then coolant can't get through it. So other parts of the engine will start to overheat.
And that's the part that came from Germany that took forever?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Here is the silicone that he's talking about. You see, that is silicone that's starting to break away. Here's your EGR valve. He flushed your coolant system out twice yesterday. If you look in here, you can see how it's discolored. You see the oil in there?
Yep. So when should I get that problem fixed, and is this a reliable vehicle to be driving
Right
far
now,
places?
it is okay. As to how long, it all depends how much you drive it, how far you drive it, how hard you drive it. It's hard to say on these older vehicles how much it would be. Well, you're going to be local for a while, so you'll be able to feel it out.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm leaving on Tuesday, but...
Oh, Tuesday you're going? Okay.
I'm just sending it. So, problem is fixed, but it's not all the way fixed. And honestly, I hate that. I wish they would have just been like, hey, this is also wrong. Do you want to fix it? And I would have been like, yeah, let's just get it fixed. Because if I get more silicone in that oil cooler and it's going through my engine, then all these things that we just fixed are going to be screwed again. Placing a head gasket is not ever the news anybody wants to hear. He said, other than that, this van is in extremely great shape for a 2006. They checked some other things for me and he's like, yeah, you have a lot of life left in your van. You just have to be careful. How long is it gonna be before I have to do this head gasket thing? I think it's gonna be a little bit of risky business taking this to South Dakota because this thing could break first day on the road trip and you know, once I get there and then I'm 18 miles away, I don't know that there's just gonna be a lot of Mercedes dealerships up in, you know, South Dakota. We have a lot to consider. I have a lot to consider. The way I work is like, I would just rather fix it now, which is a really, really bad time because of this other project I have going on in the background that costs quite a bit of money. You know how it is in life. Everything breaks at once and you have this crazy bill. It always all hits at once. This is why I try to be very diligent with my money, but at the same time, I hate spending money. So it is giving me anxiety.
Before heading home, I stopped at a PT clinic to try and figure out what's been going on with my hamstring, so hopefully I can get back to running and still be able to compete in my 100-mile race later this year.
I just got out of physical therapy. I totally forgot to take footage in there because I was so invested in what he was saying. Good news is I just have some imbalances in my pelvis. He thinks that from backpacking, I've been like this for so long that it has kind of messed with back and pelvis muscles, because now that I'm running, every step running is like 2 to 3 times your body weight on your one leg. Way higher impact than backpacking. It all makes sense. We got me sent home with some exercises, so I'm just going to be doing those diligently. So that was really good. That was a good way to end the day after the bad news from the van. So now I'm gonna drive 3 hours home, and I don't know if I'll get to swapping the van out. I got the big bed set up in here. I gotta switch out back to just my solo setup for South Dakota. Figure out my life if I'm going. Hey y'all, welcome to a couple days later. My van did make it home from Northwest Arkansas. It was running a little hot. Nothing terribly out of the normal, but I definitely want to get the issues fixed. And unfortunately, I've come to the decision that right now is not a good time for me to head out to South Dakota. It's a really hard pill for me to swallow because I've really been looking forward to this trip for months now, but it seems like there's multiple things telling me not to go. With the hamstring pelvis injury that I just talked about, one of the most painful things right now for me to do is to sit for long periods of time. South Dakota is 18 hours away from here, and my PT was highly recommending against that because it would just be not good for my injury right now. I can't run the race. My van is not reliable, and sometimes that's just life. Life happens and plans change, and now I gotta figure out what to do about my van. I found a shop in Kansas City, called them up, and I think I'm gonna arrange to get the van dropped off up there. This shop specializes in T1N sprinters, so I feel pretty good about heading up there. Right now, I don't have my van, I can't run, and crazy enough, the Subaru, my other vehicle, has about $1,000 worth of work that needs to be done. That's just great. Life chugs right on. But you know what? I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to even have these kind of problems. You know what happens when problems arrive? You just put your head down and fix them. I want to fix my van. I know it's going to be an expensive fix. A lot of you guys know I recently redid the inside, and like the mechanic said, and everybody who looks at my van says, you know, my van's very healthy for its age. There's still a lot of life in my vehicle. These engines are known to run 1,000,000 miles, or at least 500,000. Just because I'm not going to South Dakota now doesn't mean that I can't go to South Dakota later in the year. I still have lots of trips and things that I want to do. I have a ton of sky miles. Drop in the comments where you think a good place would be to fly to right now. I will say that I had a very good day yesterday. Something really exciting happened, which I don't want to tell you guys about just yet, but pretty much the biggest moment of my adult life thus far happened yesterday, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I am so excited about this, and I've been kind of hinting towards it in the past few videos. But yeah, you guys will learn about it soon. Definitely like a highlight of my entire life. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel through the highs and the lows. This is definitely not the end of my adventures, and I can't wait to bring you along and see what the rest of 2025 has in store. Love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.